Take it away from him. Under 4 left. The barn is alive again. 52-51.
Got me in my hormones. All gas, no brakes. Score 4-0. If you think you own this place, you get foreclosed. I've been in my head, but it's not about a T3. I like to learn, but there's nothing you can teach me. We all got opinions. You about to hit a meat tree and bitches. CJS never really misses. 27 land, baby. Shout out to Indigenous. She got mad at me.
Okay, we're good. Oh, hey, welcome everyone to the Sports Show. Sports Show YYC, that's the handle on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, Sports Show TV on YouTube. We got a Facebook page. And of course, don't forget, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, CJSW, CJSW.com, 90.9 FM, second Tuesday of every month. But you're getting a treat for the month of May because we got the tap on the shoulder. It's time for a line change. The last weekend, so the Tuesday, which I believe is the 31st or the 30th, Mitch?
The Tuesday is the 31st.
31st, yeah. Right? Yeah, because you leave on a Monday?
That's correct.
There you go. So Tuesday, the 31st, will be on the CJSW 90.9 FM. Once more.
Yes.
Once more.
Can I just start with something? Can I just?
But what's with you the last couple of weeks? You've been coming in with some real heat.
I actually this time I wanna say I'm sorry. I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. I can do it. I can admit when I'm wrong.
Yes, you can start like this. Go ahead.
Last week we start on killers. I was like, we got 5 Game 7s. Where's the hidden talent? Where are the superstars? Where are those guys? I want to know where you are because they shouldn't be going Game 7s. Who am I talking about specifically? 2 guys last week kind of showed everyone, you know what? Yeah, we're superstars. We're going to get paid big money, or we're getting paid big money, and we're here. Johnny Gaudreau comes to mind. Game 7 against Dallas. I mean, tight game, stressful. We're going to talk about it.
You guys should have had 5 goals.
Easily. And you know what? He carried the team. In my humble opinion, that Game 7, he because of his determination of wanting to win that game, the team followed suit and did their thing. So, Johnny, I apologize. You are a killer. Ooh. But then there's another guy. And it's a guy this guy, man, I got to give, I've been talking about him for years, about how great he is, yes. How I also think he should get traded, yes. And I still think he should get traded, but not, now that I'm watching him more and more, hey, Connor McDavid, you are the greatest hockey player maybe I've ever seen. Like that LA series, those last 2 games that they needed to win, rips it apart, fine, wins the game, all good. We're going to be going into it in a little bit. It's Calgary versus Edmonton. It's the Battle of Alberta 30 years later. Yeah. And, dude, what he's been doing to us as the Flame fan, and that's fine, but it's so easy for him. I take it back. There are 2 killers, at least in this league. Connor McDavid is the biggest giant, and I am just so impressed with him, like beyond impressed.
There comes a point where people cannot stop him. They're trying their best. They're doing everything they can. They don't know what to do with this guy.
There's nothing.
He's insane. He really is insane. And then when you have those guys fire, like if you have Draisaitl and McDavid firing, that's tough.
I agree.
It just reminds me of back in the day, and I know Homer, but it is true when you had when you had Crosby and Malkin, and when they were on, you're like, oh my goodness, Curry, Gretzky, Lemieux, Yager, like you think of these 1-2 guys when they're on, it's like, holy crap, you can't stop them.
Agreed. I couldn't agree more, but I will still stick to my guns that I feel like Connor can stay. Draisaitl's got to go. Draisaitl, because you know what I have learned, and we're going to talk about it right now. We'll get right into the NHL pitch because, hey, there was Game 7s all around the board last week, and a whole bunch of teams moved on, and here we'll start. It's Florida taking on Washington. They ended it in 6, but not without a little bit of, let's call it worry, okay? And going into the next round, they were either going to take on Tampa Bay or take on Toronto. And we left you on the cliffhanger last Saturday. We didn't know what was going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Toronto didn't make it. They just didn't make it.
Leave it at that.
We'll just leave it there. We'll get into it a little bit, but it's going to be Florida taking on Tampa Bay. It's the divisional rivals. They're basically, if it's not the Battle of Alberta up in the north, it's the Battle of Florida down south. These two are, starting to make a little bit of a name for themselves with regards to playing with each other. And the series has already started. It's 2-0 Tampa Bay, the two-time Stanley Cup champions, are up 2 games. And I'm actually not surprised based on how Florida played in the first round. Dimitri, what are your thoughts on Tampa Bay, Florida?
Yeah, I'm surprised that they are down 2-0. I thought that would at least be a split. How do I put this? You just don't overlook a team like Tampa Bay. Like, you just don't do it. And I don't think that anyone's overlooking them, but sometimes when we get into this, when we get into picking winners and who's going to do something this season and that season, because they've won it already a couple times, there's probably going to be someone new. Guys, we might be staring at a 3-time Stanley Cup champion right now, because now that team is clicking. And you got to remember, there are teams that have a lingering culture. Sports can be so short-sighted sometimes, where we look and say, hey, what have you done for me lately? But you don't realize that Golden State in basketball, when we get to it, is a prime example. Tampa Bay, another example. So here you got Florida. They're the President's Trophy winners, dominating the league. They have and not only that, they ended up making moves to make themselves better at the trade deadline, which is even crazier to me. But Tampa Bay knows how to shut people down. Tampa Bay's calm. Tampa Bay waits their turn. They don't overdo it, and they can win the games. And so I'm a little surprised that, because Florida's been playing well, just Tampa Bay has been better. Old dad strength.
Old dad. It's true.
Florida's, again, you got the 18-year-old. Flashy, driving the fancy car, this, that. Florida and Toronto, they got their workout programs, their nutrition, their this. Tampa Bay still smoking cigarettes in the dressing room. They're barely training. They're coming in for an arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Whoa, what just happened here?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
You know what? You got to look at some of the stats in this as well. You got Florida, the President's Trophy winners. Okay, so they're a good team. They had the best record in the NHL. Coming into this, they're 0 for 24 on the power play. I'm going to take a wild guess. I didn't go back into the archives to find out how good their power play was, but it was apparently pretty good before. When you go 0 for 24, I don't care if you're playing Nashville or Dallas or anybody, you're not going to be winning.
It's not going to work for you.
And if you're going to be taking on the two-time Stanley Cup champions, you got to click a couple of times on the power play. It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a clear advantage.
It's a clear big thing that you guys are giving.
48 minutes of man advantage.
Exactly.
Dare I say more if there was a bloody high stick.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And then throw in the fact that you guys kind of now have gotten the guy that woke up. So in the first series against Toronto, Tampa Bay goes, hey, you know what? These guys are pretty good. They got a lot of firepower. They got a lot of things going on. And Vasilevsky is showing up now going, hey, do you guys remember who I am? I'm the best goalie in this league. I don't care about the Shesterkins. I don't care about the Bobrovskis. I'm the best. You know why I'm the best? Because I got a Vezina, and I have 2 Stanley Cups, and I'm possibly going to get the 3rd one too. I called Tampa Bay to be in the finals, and I'm feeling more confident now. Confident now. But here's the big thing. We talked about killers at the beginning of the show, and I'm telling you right now, the one thing that Tampa Bay has, and they've had it for years, and I don't know why everyone doesn't see it. And tell me if I'm crazy, Dimitri. It's the 3rd and 4th lines that are scoring. That Paul guy. Did you see that goal that they're third? He kicked it to himself. He parlayed it to himself and put it in the top corner. And then with less than a second left, Kucherov sets up Connor. Boom, scores. Game over. This is what I'm talking about.
Tampa Bay is just a killer team. We talk about killers. It's just a killer team.
They're a killer team.
They'll get it any which way you can. Yeah, this is impressive to watch now. Now I'm rooting for Tampa Bay. Now I want to see the three-peat.
Yeah, exactly. In a weird way, right?
Could you imagine Tampa? Could you imagine Tampa versus what if rematch?
That's what I called. Jeff would
lose his mind.
We have to get him back on the show if that happens. We have to get him. Can I quickly say, since we talked about Toronto, so the big talk in Toronto, I mean, that city decimated. After that loss, I have obviously a lot of colleagues out there, so I have to. You have to. I have no choice. I'm like, guys, what happened? Oh boys, oh geez, oh goodness, destroyed. Like their hearts, they truly believed that they had it this year. So now the big talk is that they will not be dismantling this team where a lot of people thought they might. It sounds like everyone's going, okay, listen, we're so close. One more. I just don't know where they get that from. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know either, but it's the right call. Like I was worried, and I still am worried that they would go and they would just fire everyone and fire the GMs, like get rid of Shanahan, Dumbass over there. That's his.
That's what it is.
It is what it is. Nah, I got to be nice to the guy, but get rid of upper management. Maybe trade a couple players. I still think that you can get away with getting rid of a Nylander. I'm sorry, and get a little deeper.
I think so.
To your theory, because at least Tavares tried, at least Marner, like they all tried. But you know what I saw with Nylander? Man, what a wimp.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, he didn't show me any grit.
No.
Like, you could score, but he didn't show me anything. And I don't want to spend too much time on Toronto because, quite frankly, they don't deserve it anymore. But the fact is this, that city, I'm glad that they didn't roast them as much as they thought because they should keep the team.
Right.
Because you're not going to get this window again. They were very close. It is what it is.
You know what? I agree. I feel like they should break it up a little bit, but you're absolutely right. They do have to do it one more year. But I just don't like the narrative that they're like, we're so close. What do you mean you're so close? You've lost 7 straight first round. We don't know how much better you are. You keep losing in the first round.
You could go in the second round and lose.
I don't.
We're so close.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If they get, let's say next year, they actually get over the first round and they go into the second, so what? That's your Stanley Cup? This team's sticking together forever? I think that they've convince themselves, and let's call it is from a monetary point of view, they kind of have. They're like, we have to do this.
Just hire Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, just bring him.
There it is. Just get him to do the water or something. I don't know.
I like what you're doing there.
Just get Kawhi Leonard
and get Kyle Lowry back. Yeah, that's it.
Just put him
and then the Maple. Somewhere. Yeah, just
that's
put
how
him,
Toronto wins.
Yeah, just put him. You know what? Just they couple of minutes a game. Couple minutes.
That's it. We don't ask for much.
In fact, maybe goalie. I mean, you guys used every other asset you could possibly find in the goalie position. Why not?
They should trade Nylander for a goalie.
There you go. In the East, we go to the other divisional matchups. It was Carolina taking on Boston. Basically, if you had home field advantage in this game, that's who won it. And it was Carolina, the consistent Carolina. The Kegs. The Kegs. They end up winning, knocking Boston out. That's cool. They take on the winner of Pittsburgh and New York. And you know what? I'm going to say, yes, I called New York Rangers, and I'm happy that I called it because I like to be right. However, truthfully, shame on you. Like, shame on you. You got the Shesterkin, who just absolutely, even though made a lot of saves in this series, I didn't realize how much they peppered the guy, didn't play to the caliber that he's supposed to be. And Pittsburgh was decimated, and that's what it basically came down to. Like,
that's all it came down to.
That's all it came down to.
And that stupid helmet rule. Look.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. It's a silly rule. I agree.
Come on. That play did cost them. Mm-hmm. Let's call it what it is.
Right.
It absolutely cost them. But what also costed Pittsburgh was you got to close it out.
You got to stun.
You're up 3-1.
Yeah.
You're leading every game. You got to close it out. So that play at the end with the helmet, I think that rule is stupid because it was only a matter of time before someone did something stupid like that.
Right.
To try to pull a fast one, right?
Got to give him some credit. Smart.
Well, you know what? You do.
Yeah.
You do. This is a tuck rule.
Yeah. That's the tuck rule in hockey.
They basically did the tuck rule in hockey.
You got a point.
So I gotta respect it. But yeah, Pittsburgh's out. So you got the Rangers against the Kegs. So you got the Shesterkins and the Kegs.
You got the Shesterkins and the Kegs.
What do you think?
Right now the series is 2-0 Canes. Yep. They've already started as well. And you know what? The Canes, I think they were if you think about it now in hindsight, Boston and the Canes are a very similar team. The Canes are going to be around for a little while. Boston might regress a little bit, but even when we think they're going to regress, they're still good. So I guess what I'm saying is I like the Canes here because they got the wake-up call. They're like, okay, we had a tough Boston series. I think we can take these guys. Tit for tat, like I told you before, I can't sit here and tell you about all the great players on Carolina because I have no idea who they all are. But when I watch them play, and I watched a bit of that game yesterday.
A lot of weird names.
Yeah, a lot of weird names.
A lot of just really weird names.
And you know how I am with the names. Yeah. That's why I'm scared of bringing up their name.
You could not color commentate for this team.
I could not do this.
Hey,
no.
Pescatores over to Ahituna. Delungelo. Like this.
I couldn't agree more. I would be so mad.
You would be a nightmare.
I would be
Jordan
a nightmare.
Stahl. Jordan style.
So
guys,
true.
Guys,
It's so true.
I think they added an 8. There's one too many 8.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going
Who's drawing up these names in the back?
What's going on over
here?
here?
So funny.
Pesci, Joe Pesci.
Well, they can't have one Smith. Actually, they do have a Smith on the team.
He
scored a goal yesterday.
They
I saw him,
got
yeah.
a Smith on the
The
team.
one guy I want to talk about real quick in this series.
Stahl and Ranta.
Yeah, they got a lot of double A's on that
There's a
team.
lot of double A's.
They got double
What are
A's.
they, batteries?
They sure last long over there. New sponsor to the sports show. The one guy I want to talk about, because I wanted to talk about it last series, but we didn't get into it. It's Tony DeAngelo. This is the guy that's right now on the Canes. He is like their best defenseman.
Yeah.
Great guy, great prospect. The Rangers had him first. They had him last year.
Yeah.
But if you remember, he got kicked off the team because he punched Grigorev, I believe the other goalie, in the face, caused this whole controversy. Apparently, he was a little bit of a problem in the dressing room. Took a while for him to actually get picked up. Carolina says, hey, this guy's a good, consistent player. That's what we need on this team. He seems to have, got his attitude back in order. But, man, this guy's actually a game-changer kind of guy. And I'm wondering if the Rangers are, I don't know what the word is, regretting the idea of getting rid of a guy that had a bad attitude.
Well, isn't it funny, too, they got Ranta on the other side that was backing up Lundqvist.
That's right.
If you remember, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of flip-flop over here. It's almost
Yeah.
like watching Sister Wives on ice.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
Crazy,
It's
right?
a little bit.
But both teams, look, you look at that, both teams, they're in the money. It worked well for everybody, Rich.
Right.
It worked well. They're facing each other in the second round.
It's true.
It's a win.
It's a win for both.
What a great, just wholesome deal.
You know,
Nice
the two
win-win.
general managers can just shake hands and say, hey, good on you, bud.
Put her there, pal.
Yeah, I like Carolina here. I think Carolina's
me
going to just – actually, I'll be honest with you. I think they can roll them in 4. I'm not saying it's going to be 4, but I wouldn't be surprised.
You
if it's
just
4.
forget, like Carolina. I never give this team enough respect. I
Yeah.
know they're good, and I know they can win games and so on and so forth. But they're well coached, man. Like that Brindamore. To compare him to, I wouldn't compare him to Sutter, but man, it's just an organized, good group of players.
Yeah.
And maybe they go all the way.
What are the chances he actually knows their names?
He doesn't know.
No,
Their
he
names.
doesn't
No.
know. He's like,
No.
He just knows the numbers. He's like you, 47. go.
Carolina, please, anyone listening on Carolina FM radio,
Yeah.
AM, I don't know what you do down
Yeah.
there. Hire this guy.
Please,
one
you guys
game.
want a good show. You want ratings? I'll give you ratings. You bring me and my partner together. I'll give you ratings. By the way, the NHL first-round ratings, through the roof.
Through the
Excellent.
roof, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, like I said, 5 Game 7s. This is what people pay their money for. This is what they want.
Apparently, you didn't like it. You don't like it because the NBA is just rolling through.
I like the fact that the NBA is almost in the finals and we're only in the second round. I do think that's kind of good. They don't really have an excuse. I don't like.
Fair enough.
But I'm just saying. I mean, let's call it what it is. You go to McDonald's or you go to Bob's Burger. Bottom line, you want the sandwich a little sooner than ever.
It depends, right? Because
Yeah.
if you got the time,
Yeah, sure.
hey,
Bob's is probably good.
sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
The refills are free.
That's right.
Right.
That's a good point. That's
Bob's
right.
Burgers, eh?
Yeah.
You watch that show?
No, I've never seen it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with this stuff.
No, it's a lot of stuff. I'm a Family Guy guy. I've told you this.
You know,
I didn't watch Family Guy in a while
Cartoons,
either.
they get off easy, hey, because you're allowed to have just shitty animation.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be good now.
No.
You don't have to be Disney quality. You can have, like, a really shitty drawn
That's right.
cartoon as long as the content is decent.
That's a good point.
You know who to thank.
Who's that?
South Park.
South Park is.
Yeah.
You know, I never got into South Park.
Love the South
Yeah,
Park.
everyone loves the South.
You know
I gotta
what?
get- maybe
And the older you get is it's actually brilliant comedy. Like if you really think about what the episode represents and from a comedic standpoint, you're like, okay, these guys are sharp. You know, they also did basketball, those guys.
It's a great movie. I love that movie.
Fantastic
Great movie. You know what? They really
Fantastic.
integrated a lot of sports together.
I
You know what? Let's move on to the next. We're off to the West. We're off
One
to the
day,
West.
Ruster.
One day.
One day.
One day.
Okay.
We're off to the West. It's Colorado Cobra Kai. Maybe my new favorite team just because of what my partner tagged them in. Taking on the St. Louis Blues, or the St. Louis Costanzas as we call them. And you know what? This series is exactly the way I kind of predicted it. It's already 1-1.
Yep.
St. Louis is not going to go down a fight. This is another team. A lot of guys that I'm not too familiar with. I can't say I know all of them, but they do have some awesome guys. Like Ryan O'Reilly, to me, is still underrated. Still underrated. I'm sorry. The guy is a MAGA straight up.
You know, look at Buffalo. I always think of Buffalo with these things, right? Where you let two players like that walk.
Yeah.
You let two great players just leave. But O'Reilly was there. He was, imagine if he stuck around the franchise.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy. And then what's his face who went to Vegas? Why am I having a name blank?
Oh, Peter Angelo.
Not Peter. Well, Peter Angelo went to Vegas, but no. What's the young guy this year? He was injured. The guy from Buffalo.
Oh, you're talking about. Oh my goodness! Now you got me on the spot. Hold on, it's gonna come.
What? It's too early in the morning.
Anyways. It is. You know what? It is early. It was
early.
A long night last night.
Google it somewhere.
Jack Eichel.
Thank you. So, think of those
and
two
I didn't
guys.
Google it.
No, you didn't. And we have the cameras to prove it now. Anyways, those two guys are there. But look, you know what? St. Louis, to me, is exactly like the Tampa Bay talk. This is the team that won the Cup before Tampa Bay won the Cup. They're pretty deep. And they're still missing Krug.
I know. I was just going to say that to you.
They don't even got a full decor.
That's right.
Here's the thing. I watched the games. I still think Colorado's a better team.
Yeah,
Colorado's just firing.
There.
But again, when you have experience, when you have maturity, remember last week I went on a rant about maturity?
Yes.
Right? When you have that and you have that patience, you realize you're never out of any game. And all it takes. See, this is where Tampa Bay and St. Louis, these guys know something. Then they go, look, who gives a shit how many shots they throw on us?
Yeah.
As long as we get the game breaker. If we get the game breaker, you crush teams like this.
I agree. This is kind of like watching a chess match, these two guys at each other. Two good chess match players, right? Like, it looks like this one I think will go 7. I think it's just going to be back and forth, but I like what you say. I do think that Colorado has a little bit more. They have the superstars, but they're superstars that know what they got to do. They're not sitting there trying to go, oh, just pass me the puck and I'll take care of it, which we'll get to in a quick second on the other series. But I like this St. Louis team. I don't know a lot about. I have watched a little bit of them. I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're flashy and exciting to watch. I'm just going to tell you they're good at what they do. But I think Colorado, you can't disrespect the Colorado. Their bottom line, you got the McKinnons, you got the Kadris, you got the Cale Makars. Too much on that team.
Well, how about that Girard kid on defense?
Yes, another very underrated.
Colorado, if they keep just keep those two defensemen.
Yeah,
happy.
Exactly.
Stay there for a while, man. They got a great core. You got Girard, you got Makar, Landeskog, McKinnon. I mean, you can build a team around those four.
And they got some grinders on that team too.
Kadri, Rantanen, and then you got the grinders on the team as well. So they're St. Louis is going to draw this out. I still think Colorado is going to win, but nothing surprises me anymore.
No, I like Colorado here too. From there, we go to the series. Mitch. Here we go. It's Edmonton versus Calgary, the Battle of Alberta. I couldn't believe that we haven't seen this series in the playoffs in 30 years. Now, that would take me down to about 12 or 13 years old. That would take you to what?
8.
8.
Because it was 31 years. So
right.
8.
31 years?
8 years old.
So I'm actually I couldn't believe that you basically saw him at a very tender age, where I do remember some of this series. I'm sure you have some good highlights of it too. And you know what? I got to give it to them. It starts off, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't paid attention, I don't know where you are.
Sorry, and I actually do vividly remember the last series only because, with Fleury was on the team, right? They had that one. They just won the cup. I remember those ones because that's when I really started getting into hockey. Right. That's actually how I became a Penguins fan, believe it or not. So Cousin Pete was a Penguins fan.
Okay.
But then in the years when I started watching hockey, 91, 92,
right.
It's like Flames win the Stanley Cup. Then this guy Lemieux comes in. They went back to back. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah, I got to be this guy.
That's what I got to do. Well, he's cheering for him too. That's a deal sealer.
You got to do it. I like it.
Hey,
I'm over here.
But yeah.
But isn't it kind of? Let me throw.
And the game was like 31 years ago.
Exactly.
Game what 9-6?
So
what is this?
Before we get to that, real quick, but isn't it eerie? Watch this. The Edmonton Oilers have a guy in Connor McDavid, like Gretzky. They have a Draisaitl who reminds me a lot of Messier. Like even the stature, their size. You go to Calgary, we had Fleury, who's like Johnny Gaudreau.
Yes.
You got Joel Otto, who's kind of like Backlund in my eyes, or something like that. It's kind of creepy, like when you look at the parallels that kind of exist now and what was 31 years ago. It's kind of interesting. But let's get into it. This series is now tied to 1. Last night, Edmonton tied the series. But game one was an absolute crazy. If you just happen to be a first ever time watching hockey and you're like, you know what, I heard the playoffs.
Game.
You got to watch this game because you'll become a fan. Calgary's up 6-2, up 3-0 early, up 6-2 at one time. And Edmonton doesn't get worried. They don't get nervous. And that's what the biggest worry I have in this series. They go, no problem. They tie the game at 6. And then we end up scoring 3 more and make it a final of 9-6. And last night, final score, what was it, 5-3? Yeah, 5-3.
5-3 for Edmonton.
5-3 for Edmonton. Here's the thing. I said it at the beginning of this podcast. Connor McDavid has shown me in the first 2 games of this series and the 2 last games of the LA series that he's not just the MVP of this league. I go back to that previous conversation. We'll have that about the MVP talk in a minute, Dimitri. Connor McDavid is the man. And Edmonton right now is following him. And when I see a team that's not scared to be down, that worries me a whole lot. Like, they were down 4 goals and it didn't bother them. They were down 2 goals yesterday and it didn't bother them.
How about this one? How about McDavid pops in a goal, cuts right in.
Right.
Or, I mean, he didn't pop it in, but he was the one he cuts right in, goaltender interference.
Yeah.
No problem. A minute later.
Yeah.
I'll just do it myself.
I'll just do it again.
And he just, like, Connor McDavid is something crazy. Now he's got an even bigger stage.
Yes.
Because when you make the playoffs, now it's a bit, but he's shining in the playoffs.
Yes.
What did I say at the beginning? Edmonton is not the best team out there.
No.
Actually, I don't think Edmonton's even better than Calgary. I don't even think it's that much close. I think Calgary's a much better team.
I do too.
But when you have guys like McDavid and Draisaitl, if they light up, if they get going, they're game breakers. I said Edmonton could go all the way because they have that X factor.
That's right.
Mike Smith's garbage.
Yeah.
He's not a goalie that's going to steal a game for you. He's a goalie that's going to save pucks for you. They don't have a defense that's shut down. Their main guy is an overpaid youngster, Darnell, there's my opinion, and a washed-up has-been that just adds character to the team in Duncan Keith.
So Duncan gets 3 points yesterday, and everybody's on his bandwagon. Guys, he is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. He has won the Norris. He's got a couple of gold medals. But he is he had a great game yesterday. But he's a good player. But it's over now.
It's over. He's past his prime. There's no Keith Seabrook.
Darnell Nurse is the biggest fraud. I don't care. I've said it again.
He's not
not worth the money. No,
he's not.
But he's getting it. And respect to him, you're getting it. But you're not going to be the. But you're right. McDavid and Draisaitl, and now let's throw in Hyman, buddy. This guy is one of those guys that shows up in the playoffs. That's what I like about this guy. So Edmonton right now. We'll make our predictions in a second.
How about
here.
Evander Kane? Everyone laughing and laughing.
Yeah.
This guy's playing amazing.
Exactly.
And he's playing gritty
and
too.
he's doing what they wanted him to do. He's not Lucic tough, but he's tough enough to like at least keep your guys at least somewhat respectful too.
And that's what I like seeing out of Kane right now. You know, doesn't have that prima donna attitude where he's like, no, I want to score goals. I got to be this. No, look, when you're playing with those two guys, you know your play's pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand what talent at that level is in scoring goals.
Agreed.
But everyone's doing their job on Edmonton. Everyone's doing their job on Calgary. But I got to say this about the Flames. I saw it in Dallas. I'm seeing it again here. Why do we have to play another team's style of game and win the hard way? The Calgary Flames are the LA Kings on drugs.
Yes.
With more skill.
Way more.
Great goaltending, great defense, great forward, great everything. A system, they could literally have swept these Oilers and kept the, I'm convinced, and could keep these Oilers to very few goals if they play that structure they're used to playing. But they're getting sloppy, both teams are a little sloppy. I'll give
absolutely.
it. But if you get sloppy and give space to the high-skill players, I'm sorry, but McDavid beats Gaudreau 10 out of 10 times.
Dude, when my wife is watching the game with me, and she's like, who's that 97? I'm like, that's that McDavid guy. They say he's like, whatever. She's like, he's so much better than everybody. That's when you realize.
Eye test, Mitch.
But here's the other thing. You know what really convinced me, man? Is when he won. It was in game 1. It was the tying goal. He won the faceoff. There's a little bit of a clamor. He grabs the puck, goes around the defenseman as though. And you know what I found on the replay? The defensemen were one, they were flat-footed, but who cares about that? They were watching him, just like we were watching him. They are so mesmerized. When one NHL player is just as mesmerized as the fans are of watching this other guy, he goes around, Markstrom makes the save, and then, whatever, and then that Yamamoto, I believe, taps it in, ties the game.
Yeah.
But the way he went around the defenseman, Dimitri, it was like a pylon. He literally went around our guys like it was a pylon drill, and it was unreal. And that at that moment is that where I really said to myself, wow. Like, I know people have been saying this for years, but I don't know. You know what? As the stage gets bigger, he's got 20 points in 9 games. The guy is tearing it up, and he's not shy now. And that's what everyone should be afraid of, is that he's only getting better, and he's that guy that when he's this much better and he's getting better, watch out. Watch out.
You guys, when you have a guy at the professional level, especially in today's NHL, pound for pound, higher skill, better coach, like the game has changed substantially. And when you have a guy that actually looks like he's playing shinny hockey, like rec league pickup game hockey, going through people, you don't understand.
Right.
This is like what Gretzky was like. Now we get a real feel for those that weren't around, and I wasn't. I couldn't truly appreciate full Gretzky in the 80s, as you say. True. But this is what it was like when you're just ahead of your time.
Yeah, it's true.
He's just ahead of his time. And so this, and I'll tell you what really worries me about Calgary in this series. I still think Calgary's a better team. I think both teams realize that they opened this up way too much and they're going to play a little bit tighter.
They should.
If they play tighter, Calgary, I don't think will let the Oilers win another game. But here's where I worry. Smith, bad goalie, team helping him become confident that he can let in 2-3 and everything's okay, Smithy, we'll help you out. Not the other way around.
Agreed.
Good goalie, now letting in 2 or 3. And now Calgary's got to be like, oh, we might have to up the goal. The balance is now going in Edmonton's confidence favor.
I'm wondering if the Dallas series, because Markstrom, he doesn't get a lot of pub because that Ottinger played so well and so good and has all those stats. Markstrom was right there, literally right there. So I have to think, is he a little tired? Do we maybe just bring in the backup just for one game, just to let him have a little rest? Because it wasn't just, okay, people are going to be, well, there are 1-0 and 2-0 games in the Dallas series. Yeah, but it was stress, man. It was a lot of stress, and there was a lot of work. And I'm wondering if he's a little tired, because have you noticed they've been just shooting on one side on him, like the goalie side, the hand side, the glove side?
Yeah, they figured that out. They'll do that all day long.
Exactly.
But what I liked, did you see the glove save yesterday that he had on, I think it might have been Kane that came down. Anyways, he made a really, really great glove save. I think Markstrom's cheating now and showing the glove because I think he knows. Okay. Yeah. So this is the game. Okay. The game.
I gotta hear it now.
Games.
He got you kind of predicted on every series. What do you like in this one? Who do you like in this?
I still like Calgary.
Still like Calgary.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna go Calgary, but here's my little star and asterisk on it. Okay. If you know what, last week we called out a couple of players. And lo and behold, I call out Kachuk. You called out, who did you call out last week? You called out
Toffoli.
Toffoli scores, and then Kachuk scores 3. Okay. Hey, you two, they scored again. Well, Toffoli scored the other night. And then I'm going to say this. Lindholm, time for you to come back. I don't know where you went. First couple of games in Dallas, you were fine. 3 games, whatever. Yeah. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what's going on. You're doing a little bit of the Yandel. You're skating around. I don't know where you've been lately. So I'm going to call you out. And I'm calling out Markstrom. You know what? Like I just said, maybe you're tired. Tell the coach, hey, coach, I'm tired. I need a day off.
Just get some steroids. They'll test you
make
after
some
the
saves.
cup.
But I'm telling you right now, if this game, to your point, if Calgary can bring them down to their level and make it a little more defensive, I still worry a little bit because, man, McDavid has really opened my eyes to go, I don't know if you can really stop him. He seems like the kind of guy that this isn't about stopping. It's like, if you can contain him to 2 points, you should be happy.
It's crazy, Mitch. Crazy.
So I'll take Calgary as well, partner. I'll take them as well.
Okay.
And last thing, I just want to say, I am right about one thing. The MVP race should not be decided at the regular season. Austin Matthews, where are you? Hello? Austin? Austin? Nope, you're gone. Shesterkin? You're going to be gone very soon. Don't worry about it. And shame on you in the first round. Shame on you. McDavid. Done. End of the conversation. Done. This isn't even a conversation anymore. Done. End of it. We go to the NBA. Real quick, it's the Eastern Conference Final. I told you, they're fast. Like, they're almost done. They're off to the finals. We're not even in the third round yet.
NBA is so predictable sometimes. You just got to pick 1-2.
Seriously. Series is tied in the East. It's Miami versus Boston. It's really come down to Jimmy Butler versus Jason Tatum, okay? Yeah. This is what it's come down to. My humble opinion, I want NBA to go one-on-one. I say the teams talk to each other like, listen.
Yeah, like they did in the movie Troy, right? Like in old school Greece.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, look, before the armies fight, send your best, I'll send my best.
Well, let's just do it like that.
Let's save the casualties.
Right?
It's crazy.
It would be fun. First guy to 50 points or something like that. I don't know.
You know what? This is a series to watch because this is a series of two. You know, I never gave any respect to Miami.
I know.
And then I started thinking about it. I go, you know what? Butler has been on that team.
Yes.
Putting up points the last 5-6 years.
Yes.
You know, like really like turning it on is what I'm saying, okay?
Yeah, of course.
And you forget that. So all they've done is just added layers to, and they were there last year, they've been around the year. And I go, you know what? Why am I so shocked? But I'm still keeping with my Celtics.
Yeah.
I still think they're deeper in the trenches.
Yes. Dude, I want the Celtics. I'll be honest with you. I've always been a Celtics fan. Like behind
Butler, man, the guy can shoot.
Buddy, Butler's a game changer, but Jason Tatum, a little younger. He is Butler younger. It's like that movie Loop. They're taking on each other. Looper. They're taking on each other. They're taking on their alter egos of each other.
They're both Bruce Willis?
They're both Bruce Willis. You got to watch the movie, but this is what I'm seeing. When I see them playing each other, I'm like, oh, you're just paying each other. This is all you're doing. It's kind of awkward. Your mom doesn't know who to cheer for. It's very weird.
Who do you got? You still got the Celtics,
I'm going to take the Celtics with you, and simply because I do think that they are a little bit more deep. I agree with you. I like who they are and what they're about. From there, we go over to the West. It's Luka versus Mr. Curry and the Golden State Warriors. So Luka and the boys gave up a huge lead yesterday, late in the game. And Golden State has now taken a 2-0 lead. I think that's basically the nail in the coffin. Now, granted, they are going to go back to Dallas. It'll be a great crowd over there. We'll see. But Luka last night, 42 points, 8 and 5. Guys, I mean, he got a little bit of help from Brunson yesterday with 31, but he is literally by himself. And we've talked about it over and over. It kind of seems like the same segment we do each week for the NBA. But we can't help it. This is just what's happening. Golden State has already kind of booked their ticket to the finals. They're on their way. Dimitri already called it. But the one thing about Golden State, they can be beat. They can be. So I do think whichever team comes out of the East, I'm telling you, I think you take on your Golden State.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, either of those teams. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but the Luka well is going to run dry. The Golden State's just too deep, it's just tough. When you give up a lead like that, Dallas, you can't do that. You can't do that.
No.
You know, and it's tough. They just need more players. They just need more players. Like they should just
play a little defense.
They got to figure something. They got to figure something out with that team to give them some real help. Because if they're doing it now like this, like man, this guy, you talk about killer. This guy's the killer right now. He's the killer of killers.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the sports show killer.
He's the goat killer.
He's the
goat killer.
Man. Is he Greek? But Golden State, man, I'm telling you, but they can be beat. They're not. Yes, they can be beat.
They can be beat.
Yeah,
they can be. I mean, look, man, Steph's 1 year older every year, right? It's just.
But they just got the two shooters back, and it's opened up
the
game
they
for
got
everyone
this Poole
else.
guy. They got this good guy Poole, and Golden State hasn't taken full advantage of all their players yet. Like all the guys haven't shown up for one game. Yesterday they showed up in the fourth quarter, 42 points in the fourth quarter. You're gonna lose. It just is what it is. Play some defense, Dallas. That's all it is.
But again, these mature, patient teams, I'm telling you. You got to watch out. But like I said, the moment Klay Thompson came back, you just knew. Now you got two guys that can shoot three-pointers at will.
Yeah.
You just open up the game.
I say they get Jason Kidd off the bench and, player coach. Kind of like, what was that guy? Where Will Ferrell in that movie? Tropic Thunder. No, not Tropic Thunder.
For which?
The one where, semi-pro.
Oh, semi-pro.
Yeah.
The
so be just, player coach. Player coach.
Well, and if you look, to prove my point, look at Draymond Green. Look at the playoffs he's having.
Yeah.
It just comes off the back of the game opening up for him to look
Doesn't
decent.
It just show you that every team needs a guy like Draymond, like the grinder, the guy that agitates, the guy that, and then he's got his own podcast that, so after a bad game, a couple of weeks ago, he got knocked out of a game, flagrant foul, they threw him out of the game. He goes on the podcast and he's like, basically calling the referees racist. It was like, and then the next game, I mean, they didn't even want to touch their whistles. Right? You know what I mean? It's brilliant. It's a brilliant play. So we'll send out an invitation. Anybody, we have the podcast ready. Just come on down.
Come on, please.
We'll do it all for you.
Please.
From there, let's go over to rapid banter. Even if they were here, any player, you can't do the rapid banter like my partner here.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Won't
Can't
do it.
Okay, what do you got this week, Mitch?
Brad Marchand admits growing up that he was a Maple Leaf fan. What's something embarrassing you want to admit to the roster?
That you're a Maple Leaf fan.
A Packer fan has been waiting 50 years to get their season tickets. They finally got them. How do they celebrate?
Going to a game. If you're going to wait
I'm thinking a charcuterie board of cheese and going to the game.
Great point. Yeah. Great point.
The Florida Panthers are 0-24 on the power play and have not scored one since April 29th. How do they break this curse?
I don't know, but our friends that go to the bar still won't know how to do that either.
Did you ever have those friends like 0-4? I think they're still 0-4.
They're still like they're just striking out left, right, and center. I worry about those guys, Mitch.
I do worry about those guys. It's a worry. And Florida should be worried too. This could go on forever, you guys. You don't know.
The Florida wingman.
Who's a better captain? Yzerman, Messier, Sakic, or Stamkos? Yeah. I saw this, and I have to admit, I copied this question. I thought it was a great question.
You got to go with Messier. They named the award after him.
It's true.
You got to do it.
Yeah, I guess.
But Yzerman.
He had a lot of Eagles he had to take care of.
But Yzerman.
That
Yzerman. He does it at the GM level. Son of a bitch.
Stamkos. I mean, he is two-time
Stanley
Cup champ. Oof. In this day and age.
Oof.
I ain't say it.
Yeah.
Terrell Owens says he can run the 40 in under 4.5. Is he crazy or, hey, all I wanted was a picture. That's all I wanted, Terrell.
It's not Jesse Owens. No, there's no way.
Adidas and Gucci are selling umbrellas that are non-waterproof. They cost $1,600. Who cares? They're fashionable. Or I thought there was a leak.
How is there no more collaborations like this?
I don't know.
The Gucci does?
The Gucci does.
Wow.
That's the name of the pod.
Gucci does. Yeah. Hey, what are you wearing? Nothing.
Nothing. Little Gucci does here.
Yeah, new Sachis.
Breaking news, the Dallas Stars head coach Rick Bowness and his assistants are stepping away. Thoughts?
Ooh, that's surprising.
Yeah. The Carolina Hurricanes have the hurricane siren. What should Calgary do to help pump up the crowd?
More flames.
More flames.
Just more fire.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a problem. I'm not going to lie to you. When they took on Edmonton, buddy, I've been to a lot of Calgary-Edmonton games in my life. I promise you this. We've seen what Edmonton can do down here. Unfortunately, we're going to be like a couple of red dots on their screen. Yeah. A couple. Flame fans don't travel well. We don't travel. Summertime is upon us. Beach volleyball or raquetes?
Tie for first.
How about this one? I got one answer.
It's a raquetes. Sorry, it's a raquetes.
You think raquetes?
Yeah.
I'm a beach volleyball guy. And you know why? I'm not going to lie to you. Top Gun. I'm still thinking.
Me and you open challenge.
Do we do
the Mitch and Dimitri beach volley tournament?
But you have to play in jeans.
You have to play in jeans, and it's 2-on-2.
2-on-2 in jeans.
Yes.
No questions asked. Women and men, jeans. You have to play in your jeans.
Do we create our own biathlon of raquetes? Beach volleyball.
Write this down. I'm writing.
Put it for the Greek show, too.
Greek show, yeah. Done. Final. Michael Vick is going to play in a new league, fan control football. Will he perform?
Pat, just go next.
I
don't want to.
From there, we go to Magamalaka. It's truly everyone's favorite. It's what's put us on the map over the years. I got two of them. I got what happened 30 years ago, or the Jim Daly. I'm going to let you choose.
Oh, give me Jim Daly.
Jim Daly.
Yeah.
I'll take Jim Daly for 100. Here we go. So this week is the PGA Championship.
What is Diet Coke?
Buddy, here we go. Jim Daly played his first round the other day, and they're keeping stats on the funniest things with this guy.
Seen this, right?
And that's what the list is. Is it a Maga or Malaka? Here we go. So in his first round, Jim Daly, our favorite golfer of all time, 21 cigarettes in one round. Maga or Malacca?
I'm going to go Malacca. Pace yourself, Jimmy, baby. Pace yourself. One cigarette a hole.
One cigarette a hole.
Take it easy.
Just
take it easy.
Maybe he got a little nervous. Maybe he was in the bunker in one of them.
He could be a little nervous, but just take it easy.
How about this one? 12 Diet Cokes in one round.
Maga.
Yeah. You know, I used to love the Diet Coke a lot, like loved it. And then I cut it off. And the other day I found myself sipping on it. I got to be honest, I don't know why I loved it so much.
Right. Yeah. It's got a weird taste.
It's
does.
Almost
like chewing like old school dentine gum.
Yeah.
That's how it just didn't work for me.
It didn't work. During his first round, he also destroyed 6 bags of M&M peanuts.
I'm going to go Malacca.
Why?
I just...
You like the plain? You like the plain M&Ms, or is that what?
You know, if anything, I like the peanut butter ones.
Those are good.
Those are great, right? Yeah. Because I'm a Reese Pieces fan. But I don't know. I just think there's better foods out there.
You know what? I'm gonna say
I'd rather the mix and match.
I hear you. But for me, I'm gonna say Maga because hey, I couldn't do it, but I love the M&M peanuts.
See, if you tell me that he had 2 plates of nachos,
right?
That is pretty.
Don't think he tried. It just there was no microwave on the cart. That's a problem. You know what I mean? That's the thing. From there, he's also now the head sponsor of Hooters. Maga or Malacca?
Maga.
What
it is.
A
great, wholesome family restaurant.
You know what it is? It is
great wings over there.
Good wings.
They you know
At
what?
least they have wings.
Don't even get me started. Thanks for nothing, Basa Pizza.
Here's the other one. It's Maga or Malacca. He has lost in his career. This isn't what happened during the first round, but apparently he was in the casinos. Do you know that he has admitted that he's lost $55 million in the casino?
It is amazing. And that's MAGA. Because if you're losing 55 schmil,
yeah,
and on top of it,
right,
you can still live your life,
yeah,
and you got extra,
not bad. Not bad, sir.
Well done.
And you know what the best part is? He's not a card player. He loves the Vlits. He likes the slots, the Vlits, the VLTs,
buddy,
or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. He's actually admitted on some other article, he plays them like the piano. He'll play like 5 in a row.
2 free spins. Come on.
Come on. Oh.
You know what the worst is when you get the free spins on the first 2 reels and it gives you hope.
It gives you hope.
It gives you like, come on.
So where can you get the bar all these years? You know what I mean? Buddy, the conspiracy theories, that should be Maga Malacca next week.
Ooh,
the conspiracy theories people have of the VLTs is probably some of the funniest things. Where's the button in the back? Why aren't you guys pressing the button? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. I'm like, if there was a button in the back, why wouldn't I turn it on for myself? Why wouldn't I turn it on for myself? Well, you're the owner. Yeah, I can lock the door. I can play by myself. Who's going to catch me? You? You, private investigator? You're going to catch me? The hell out of here!
No!
Last one, here it is. So during his first round, we just told you, 21 cigarettes, 12 Diet Cokes, 6 M&Ms. He's lost $55 million. He's a sponsor at Hooters, and not one drip of water touched his lips. Maga or Malacca?
This is where I got to disagree with you on one part. I want to say Maga. You know what? No. I
it's Maga.
I was going to say Malacca, but no, Maga. If you're going to go, just go all the
way.
Full throttle. Don't try to change now. Yeah. Don't be like Mitch is, halfway Mitch.
Yeah.
I don't like this halfway Mitch.
Why?
I like the old Mitch. We'll get into it on the next show.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh is right, because I didn't say what I did. But look, roster, don't go halfway like John Daly, okay? Don't. What you want to do is you want to go all the way like you do with our podcast. Thank you very much for listening. You want to go all the way and make sure that you click the subscribe button on Sports Show TV. I'm begging you. Look, I'm looking right at you. Sports Show TV. Go to the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe. Get the clips. We'd really appreciate it. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, CJSW, 90.9 FM. Greatest radio station of all time. But this is one for the books, but we got to shove it in the locker. We do got to hit the showers.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
You know the other 30 years ago? Footloose came out. Footloose. The original. Kevin Bacon Footloose.
You know
the
what?
real Footloose.
I'm so sick and tired of them doing remakes. Just leave it alone.
Agreed.
The only remake that someone should make is if you could, like if you did a Marvel movie. Like I get that. Yeah. If you did a Marvel movie in the 80s and you're like, look, guys, we can redo Batman. We can redo Superman and probably how the way it should have looked.
Right.
I'm okay with that. But when you take classics like Footloose, leave it alone.
Leave it alone. You know, there has never been a better montage than when he was dancing in that warehouse alone. First off, who does that? Number one.
Okay, montage. Karate Kid
Best.
or Footloose?
Or Rocky. They're all great. All three tied. Three-way tie.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
I'm excited, turned on, and angry at the same time. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Then I'm mostly what they bopping. You can say, but you got when it's Tuesday, I be locked in.